Welcome to another episode of Dutch Guy's Garage. On this episode, we are going to be figuring out what went wrong in our 1980 Dodge Aspen RT.
Hey kid, don't ever let them get inside your head. Life instead of everything you know that you can get. Don't let them guide your life towards regret.
What do you say we get thrown out of an Applebee's?
Yeah! This is a car we earlier in the year pulled the motor out and installed a huge cam in it, and lifters, springs, all that nonsense. And this car, before 500 miles, had what I believe right now is flat tappet cam issues, which is the problem that a lot of people are discovering right now with flat tappet cams. Unfortunately, that lifters that we used to be able to get cannot get anymore, and we're dealing with garbage. So this motor lost all oil pressure, was running fine, but it lost all oil pressure. So I'm guessing I did pull the valve cover, ran it for half a second, and 3 of the valves are not moving, so we already probably know what we're going to find when we look in here. But unfortunate truth with today's parts, you can't buy cheap cams no more, and everybody knows that I'm a cheap guy, and so we're going to see how much damage was actually done with this cam. Hughes does have a 90-day warranty. This cam failed at 108 days. So it was unfortunately out of their warranty, but yeah, it sucks. It sucks to suck. So it is what it is. But we're going to figure out if the motor itself is entirely, main bearings and all that stuff are bad. I'm guessing yes. There's probably a lot of metal in this motor, unfortunately, but that's kind of the price you pay for modern hot rodding. It's the times, unfortunately. You can't do a low buck LA build and win. Not win anymore with the flat tappet cam. You got to spend $1,500 and get a roller, which we've had 2 cam failures this year. Super Coupe had 1 failure, and that motor was just before 10,000 miles, and that motor's been built for 3 years. So you can't win no matter what you do, apparently. But let's figure out. We'll get this motor out, chair pickers on, and get it on the engine stand and figure out what else went wrong. But this is a good time to talk about Schumacher. So this Aspen was a factory slant 6 car, and it uses the Schumacher Creative Industries, whatever their name is. It uses the Schumacher motor mounts, and I am here to say, as an F-body guy, they suck. They absolutely suck. They will get the job done, but as far as fitment and everything, Schumacher does not have the specs right, in my opinion, on these motor mounts. Well, I can show you right now, and we'll take a look. So, 360 LA Mopar. You can see down there we have Schumacher mounts. This side, it's okay. Driver's side, they want you to lop off the slant 6 ear mount on the K-frame, which is fine, so it requires a through bolt, all this nonsense. When you have this motor in this car, it is a 1/2 inch further back than the factory mounts, and it is 3/4 of an inch taller than it would be on a factory V8 K-frame. So that puts your transmission all the way into your firewall. And the top bolts, the 1 bolt is almost 100% inaccessible, but having these motor mounts pushing the motor up and further back sucks. There's a huge problem with these mounts pushing everything back and everything up to where you can't get access to your transmission bolts. It takes 2.5 hours to pull the top 4 bolts on this 904 transmission, because the engineering is not done right. I was hoping, because there's not many parts in the F-body world as far as aftermarket, and I figured these guys did their due diligence and hopefully made a good part, which it does go into the mounts, but that's the only good thing about them. It's not right. I don't know if the company cares enough. I've emailed them before, but that was at the last ownership, and they didn't care then, so I don't know if they're caring now, but these mounts suck. They need to be re-engineered so they're right, where the motor sits where it's supposed to be, and you actually can get transmission access, because right now, it's horrible. I mean, the only other alternative is to put the motor and the transmission, bolt them together, put them on the K-frame, and bring that K-frame up from the underneath, and pray and hope to whoever you're praying to that you don't have any issues down the road to where you have to do the whole thing again. And I know the factory put the K-frames in from the bottom with the engine and the transmission, but it requires a lot of room, a lot of space. The car's got to go way, way, way up in the air. There's no reason why we shouldn't be able to do like A-body's guys do, or even just a regular F-body with a V8 transmission or V8 motor, where you can pull the motor out with no issues. This is a piss poor design, and Schumacher, do a better job. If you need cars to test your products, get a hold of me. I have people on that side of the world that have these cars, but this is a universal problem where Schumacher, it's not a good product. So anyways, enough of this rant. Let's pull the motor, get on the engine stand, see where we're at. Alright, motor's out. Valve cover's off, intake's off. And looks okay, looks okay, looks okay. Oh. That's fine. That's fine. That's fine. I don't really see any worn lobes though. Well, you know what? Maybe that one. I haven't spun anything over yet. I just pulled the intake off, and I mean, so far you see a bent push rod, and this lifter here doesn't look like it's domed. So that's interesting. So I guess we'll keep going. It'll be fine. Alright, update whatever we're on right now. So got the lifter out, and it is, well, the lifter that was already out, that one was fine, except it wouldn't pump up, so it was not fine. This is stuck on the cylinder that was beside it, so that one's got some issues, so that's fine. So we're trying to figure out why we lost oil pressure. So I pulled the oil pan, and everything doesn't, I was expecting a whole bunch of metal. Instead I got a whole bunch of antifreeze on the floor. That's my favorite. And there wasn't crap. So I pulled the pickup out, and that wasn't plugged. So you spin this thing around, you can see that it's wanting to do oil things. So the oil pump's not bad. And the gear on the back of the camshaft is not bad. So I still haven't decided if that I have aftermarket gauges in this car. If those, maybe that gauge went bad, maybe, but everything leads back to I don't think it's bad, because when I stopped this car, when it lost oil pressure, you couldn't even touch the valve cover. It was so hot, and it had that nice smell of like the metal on metal smell. So I don't know. I didn't find any big debris in there. I don't know. Maybe I don't know. I think the block's gonna have to be gone through at this point, unfortunately. There's not a lot of debris in here, but I did find like 4 lifters that weren't pumping up anymore. They were stuck. So we were not far away from having the whole block of bent push rods. So yeah, that's fun. This is my favorite. So Now, make the decision. Probably won't be tonight, but stripping this block down, dropping it off at the engine shop, and yeah. This is the Hughes experience, or the flat tappet experience, because it's not just Hughes' fault. We've had Lunati failures, we've had a lot of comp failures, but it's lifters. Lifters that's the problem. So, got to make a decision on what to do with this engine, or use another engine, or yeah, I don't know. I know something has to go in this engine bay, because this car not running, it doesn't make me happy. So, but three-wheeler runs, because that makes me happy. So, now there's like a couple Chargers and 300s, modern ones, down at the local garage. They're all smashed, so I already talked to them. Maybe we'll do a Hemi swap. I don't know. That might be more of a headache. It might be less of a headache. I don't know. But this thing's got to run. So, what I don't want to get rid of is my 904 transmission, because I love that transmission, and it's built to the hilt, and it's got a whole bunch of good parts in it, and I'd like to keep that. So, yeah. I know a Hemi bolts to a 727, so it's got to bolt to a 904, but I don't know. Do some pondering, some thinking. Decisions have to be made. But right now, we know that's no bueno. So, we'll get it out to the engine shop and see if there's a further update on what they decide is the loss of oil pressure deciding factor. But I like that block. That block and I we've been together for 6-7 years now. And we get along like peas and pancakes. So, I don't know. We'll figure it out. But this is the Aspen RT update. It's not good news, but it's some news. So, but good news is the Super Coupe's back. We're not tunnel ramming it just yet, but we got it running the other day, and she runs good. So, as always, this is Dutch Guy's Garage. Appreciate you guys watching. We'll see you in the next one. And always remember, they don't move until you do.